Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, and I welcome you all on this beautiful journey in this lovely world, Sri Vrindavan Dham. So as you know, today we are going to take you to the holiest of all and the most confidential place. So this place is known as Barsana and Raval, and these are connected to Srimati Radharani. So before we get into that dham, I would tell you all that this is, as I was saying, that this is the most intimate place in the entire creation, where the most sacred and most blissful pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna takes place. And I am completely unqualified to speak on this subject matters. So before we begin, I beg for the mercy to flow so that I can take you all there on this holiest of all land. This is even more sacred than what we were discussing in Vrindavan. This is because this involves Srimati Radharani. And as we know, like in Srimad Bhagavatam, the entire Bhagavatam, there are some references given to Srimati Radharani, but her name does not come completely. So this is because it is so confidential and intimate subject matters. So I am begging for the mercy to flow. I pray to my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami and Srila Prabhupada to guide me so that I can take you all to this journey. So let's march ahead, and we would enter into Raval and Varsana. So two places which we will be covering today is Raval and Varsana. Raval is actually the place where Srimati Radharani was born, and soon after that she was shifted to Vrindavan, and after that they came back and settled in Varsana. So like Srimati Radharani was born in Raval and then shifted back. So most of the pastime happens in Varsana when she was entering into that Gopi Leela. So all those pastime happens in Varsana. So before we get into Raval, there are few things which is very important for us to understand. We need to understand this Radha Tattva, so that when we are discussing about the pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna, then we do not commit any offense. So here there is a beautiful verse. Devi Krishna Mai Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarva Lakshmi Mai Sarva Kanteh Sammohini Para. The meaning says, the transcendental goddess Srimati Radharani is the direct counterpart of Lord Sri Krishna. She is the central figure for all the goddesses of fortune. She possesses all the attraction to attract the all-attractive personality of Godhead. She is the primeval internal potency of the Lord. So actually, Krishna's pleasure potency, like potency means power or energy. So if Krishna's energy which gives him pleasure, if that energy takes a form, then that form is Srimati Radharani. So Srimati Radharani is the pleasure potency of the Supreme Lord, and as it says, this verse says that she is the central figure of the goddesses of fortune. So all the Lakshmi and all the other consorts of the Lord, everybody actually emanates from Srimati Radharani. So Srimati Radharani is the source of Sahasra Lakshmi. There are mentioned that there are thousands of Lakshmis, and the source of all this Lakshmi Devi is Srimati Radharani. So that is how glorious she is, and it is described that the beloveds of Krishna are divided into three categories. One is the Lakshmi Devi, or the goddess of fortune. Second are the queens of Krishna. So we hear about Rukmini, Satyabhama and other 16,108 queens of Krishna. So that is the second division. And the third division and the topmost division is that of the gopis. So there are three divisions: Lakshmi, then next is the queens of Krishna, and the topmost are the gopis. And among these gopis, there are thousands and thousands of gopis, and among these gopis, there are 8 very important gopis whom we call Ashtasakhi. And above those 8, the topmost gopi, that is Srimati Radharani. So let's proceed a little further, and these are a couple of verses again about Srimati Radharani, and then we will go to the session today. Radha Purna Shakti Krishna Purna Shaktiman दुई वस्तु भेद नाई शास्त्र प्रमाण राधा कृष्ण आईचे सदा एकाई स्वरूपा लीला रास आस्वादिते धरे दुई रूपा. So it says that Sri Radha is the full power and Lord Krishna is the possessor of full power. So Shakti and Shaktiman. So Shaktiman is one who possesses and Shakti is the energy. So Radharani is compared to Shakti and Krishna is Shaktiman. The two are non-different as evidenced by the revealed scriptures. Thus, Radha and Lord Krishna are one, yet they have taken two forms to enjoy the mellows of pastimes. So like as we can understand that sun and sunlight, now these two things, though we know that this is different, but we cannot really demarcate them. So similarly, Krishna and Radha, they are actually one and they have taken two forms. As it says, Leela Ras Asvadite Dhare Dui Roop. To enjoy the pastimes, they have taken two separate forms. Otherwise, they are just one and the same, Shakti and Shaktiman. So with that understanding and with a very humble, prayerful attitude so that we can understand without committing any offense and we understand the scriptures and the dham in a way which pleases to the Supreme Lord and Srimati Radharani, let's go forward. So this is today's itinerary, my dear friends. We will be discussing about 4 different types of pastimes of Srimati Radharani. So first one is Janma Leela, or how Radharani took birth. Second is Dana Leela. So now Dana Leela pastimes we'll be discussing. There are some like when there are lovers and they fight a little, like not really fighting, but in Hindi there is a word called nok jhok. So little somebody would say something, another would say something. So more of a teasing type of arguments. So that comes under Dana Leela. Third is Vilas Leela. So Vilas Leela are the intimate pastimes of Shri Shri Radha, Krishna and all the gopis. So these pastimes involve things like Jhulan or Holi, etc. So fun-filled pastimes. And the fourth one is Man Leela. So Man Leela is sometimes when Radharani would get angry or sometimes when she would feel very jealous and then a transcendental anger would come to her. So that is when it is said that Radharani has like gone in her Man. So that is Man Leela. So these 4 type of things we will be discussing today in today's session. So let's all chant together. Radhe 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 Shri Krishna Radhe 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 Shri Krishna Radhe 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 Radhe. So seeking blessings of Srimati Radharani, let's enter into Raval, which is her birthplace. So she is born in Raval as Krishna was born in Gokul, and then both moved to Vrindavan. And then after some time, Krishna from Vrindavan, they moved to Nandagram and Srimati Radharani moves to Barsana. So this place, Raval, is actually 6 kilometers from Mahavan. We were yesterday in Mahavan. So it is around 6 kilometers from Mahavan and it is 9 kilometers southeast of Mathura. So yesterday in the chat I was checking and few of you were asking that where is actually Mathura Vrindavan. So this is located in Uttar Pradesh, close to Delhi. So there is this station called Mathura, and from Mathura now the place where we are going is Raval, and this is in southeast of Mathura, around 9 kilometers. And here we have the map of Raval. So Raval is the place where Srimati Radharani was born. This is a small forest, one of the Upavan or sub-forests of Vrindavan. And Radharani was not actually born in a traditional manner. Radharani was actually found on the banks of Yamuna. So this place marks that particular place. And here we will see a beautiful temple of Ladli Lala. So the deities are known as Ladli Lala Mandir. So we will see that. So here we are entering into Raval village. So bolo Srimati Radharani ki jai. And here we are entering into Raval. So now the story of Raval goes in such a way that Vrishbhanu, who was the father of Srimati Radharani, So one day he had gone at the bank of Yamuna around noon time to take his midday bath. And suddenly he found that there was a beautiful golden lotus flower floating there, and it has so many petals. And on that flower, on that lotus flower, on the center of that flower was a tiny little, very, very attractive and effulgent girl. And her face was as if like thousands of suns were sparkling together. So he found this baby and he was very happy, and he was about to pick up the baby, and immediately he heard Lord Brahma speak, and Lord Brahma appeared there. And then Brahmaji tells Vrishbhanu that you and your wife, in your last birth, you were Suchandar and Kalavati. So you were Suchandar. So this you can see that they have found. So they were Suchandar and Kalavati in the previous birth, and they have done lot of meditation and tapasya on the bank of Gomati river, and they wanted the Lord's consort to be their daughter. So this is how she was found, and he brings this girl home, and the wife's name is Kirtida. So Vrishbhanu and Kirtida, they were extremely happy, and the baby was very, very attractive. But in some time they realized that this baby is neither crying nor she is opening her mouth. So they thought that probably she is blind and dumb. I mean, generally the small babies cry, but this baby was not crying also. So they were very worried about that, and they did not know whether they should tell about this baby to others or what to do. So one fine day, Narad Muni came to their house, and Narad Muni was aware that Krishna has taken birth, and he knew because Krishna has come, so somewhere the consort would have also come. So he was actually going to each and every house and asking, do you have a small baby girl in your house? So he comes and he asks here also. So he asks Vrishbhanu and Kirtida that, do you have what about your children? Do you have children? So then they brought the elder brother. There is the son, his name is Sridama. So they brought baby Sridama and said, we have one son. So Narad Muni blesses this son, and he says that this son will become a very dear and intimate friend of Krishna Balram. And then Narad Muni was about to move, and then hesitatingly Vrishbhanu said, we have a daughter also. And Narad got very excited and said, can you bring that daughter? So what you see here is this beautiful little girl. So this is the daughter which was brought forward to Narad Muni, and Narad Muni said that, can I have a brief moment, private moment with this girl? So Narad Muni took this girl in a room, he locked the room, he paid obeisances, and he started glorifying Krishna. And he said, I can completely understand that you are the one. You have come from the spiritual world, and you are Srimati Radharani, the consort of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So like that he started glorifying, and then when he started talking about Krishna, this girl suddenly, from that tiny form, she attains a Kaishore form. She becomes a 14-year-old girl, and she gives darshan along with her Ashtasakhi to Narad Muni. And Narad Muni was very pleased, and then he paid obeisances, and by that time Vrishbhanu walked in the room, and this girl again becomes a tiny girl, and she was just sleeping there. So Narad Muni said that now you should organize a good festival, a great festival, and call everybody and give the feast. So this happened. So because of his advice, they invited the entire village and the neighboring villages, and this was the time when they invited their friend Yashoda and Nand also. So when Yashoda and Nand came, they brought Rohini and their two small children, Krishna and Balram. So now we see that there were huge celebrations going on, and Krishna Balaram had also come, and Krishna had just completed 1 year. Actually, Radha and Krishna, the age difference is 1 year and 8 days. So Janmashtami is coming, and after 8 days of Janmashtami is Radha Ashtami. Sorry, after 15 days of Janmashtami is Radha Ashtami. So 1 year, 15 days younger is Srimati Radharani. So Krishna had started crawling, and Krishna crawled and he goes near the cradle where Srimati Radharani was resting. And the moment Krishna stands up, like holding the cradle, and gradually he stands up and he looks at the baby. And he looks at the baby, and just by smelling Krishna, this is the first time when Radharani opens her eyes. So Radharani opens her eyes and she starts crying. So then they realize that, okay, so the baby can cry. I mean, the baby is not dumb and the baby is not blind also. So this is how this Leela happened at Raval. This was the first time when Shri Radha Krishna met in this material world. And the Acharyas explain that why did this happen is because when Krishna was coming to this material world, Srimati Radharani has kept one condition. She said, I'll come along with you only on the condition that when I go to the material world, I want to see you as the first person. So she was waiting all these days, and when finally Krishna had come and she opens her eyes. So this is the temple there in Raval. This is the entry and that is the temple. And these are the deities who are worshipped there. Shri Ladali Lala deities and the temple. And in the temple premise, we also find this baby Radha deity. So Radharani was born in Raval, and then as I told you that from here they shifted to Vrindavan for some days, and then after a couple of years they moved back to a place called Varsana. So now I invite all of you to enter into Varsana, and this is a very, very sacred and confidential dham. So if all of you are ready to enter Barsana, so please chant loudly, Bolo Barsane Wali Ki Jai! Bolo Barsane Wali Ki Jai! So there is a very sweet song which goes like, Radharani ki Jai, Maharani ki Jai, Radharani ki Jai, Maharani ki Jai. बोलो बरसाने वाली की जय जय जय, बोलो बरसाने वाली की जय जय जय. तो सभी बोलो राधा रानी की जय. So getting into Varsana, so here we have the beautiful map of the Varsana. We'll be doing the parikrama of this whole place today. Like the other day we did for Vrindavan, yesterday we were in Mahavan, and now we are getting into Varsana. So there are so many places and we will go one by one. So there is Gahavarvan, there is Krishna Kund, Mor Kutir, Brahmagiri Parvat, Man Kutir, Jaipur Mandir, Shriji Mandir, Pili Pokhar, Ras Mandal, Vilas Bihari Mandir, Chiksauli Gaon, Bihari Kund. So all these and everything else we will cover in the next some time. So let's all get an aerial view of Varsana. So here we are entering into Varsana, and this is the beautiful place which is situated on the top of a mountain. There are actually many small mountains, 4 mountains there. Actually what happened is Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, all 3 of them wanted to have some service, to do something in this pastime of Radha and Krishna. So first Shiva approached, and Shiva was given the form of Nandeshwar at Nandagram. So tomorrow we will be visiting Nandagram and we will see that mountain Nandeshwar, which is actually Lord Shiva. So here in Varsana we will find Brahma and we will find Vishnu. Both have taken the form of a hill. So on the top of these hills, these different temples are situated. So we will enter into the dham and see what is happening there. So this arrival in Varsana also marks the starting of Gopi Leela. So when she was more than 5 years old, at her Kaishore age, this was the time when she was here. And as we were discussing that they will be doing the Dan Leela, the Man Leela, the Vilas Leela in these forests of Varsana. So Varsana is around 42 kilometers from Vrindavan, and this, what you see my dear devotees on the screen, is the most important temple and the most popular temple of Barsana. This is built upon the mountain, as I was telling that Brahma, so Brahma's forehead, so there are 4 tiny mountains there, and on that hilltop these temples are located. This is Shriji Mandir. So Radharani's one popular and pet name there is Shriji, and another name is Lali. So they call her, with lot of love, they call her Lali. So we have Lali ji or Ladli ji or Shriji temple. So all these 3 names are given to this temple. So let's get into this temple and have a closer look. I'll take you inside the temple and we will have the darshan. So this, as I said, this you can see we'll take the courtyard. This is coming up is the courtyard of the temple, and gradually we will walk in the temple. So this temple is situated on a hilltop, has more than 200 steps. One has to climb more than 200 steps to reach there. And this is the medieval temple with high wall, elaborate design, chhatris and arches. So all that is there, and the deities worshipped here, it was established by Srila Narayan Bhatt. So these are the deities which are worshipped there. And Narayan Bhatt actually got this temple constructed by Raja Todar Mal, who was actually there in the government of Emperor Akbar. So he constructed this beautiful, wonderful, amazing temple. And as I was telling you that because Lord Brahma had performed penances, so he got this benediction to keep Srimati Radharani on her head. Also, this temple, if you will see this temple, the inside walls, there are various paintings, and each one, every single painting, we will find that Krishna is actually serving Srimati Radharani. So here the temple, the beauty of the temple is that Srimati Radharani is the topmost, and even Krishna, the Supreme Lord, he's serving, he's trying to please Srimati Radharani. So various paintings depicting that. And the courtyard, what we saw here, so yeah, this is the temple, and the courtyard, what you can see now on the screen. So this is the place where Srimati Radharani comes. One very important festival they celebrate, that is Hariyali Teej, which is just passed now, like last month. In the month of Sawan, that Teej, that Hariyali Teej. So the Ladli ji from her temple, she comes out in this courtyard and she gives darshan to one and all. So this is a very famous place there. And generally when you go, like especially we generally go there around Radhastami time. So the whole place is very crowded, and you would be amazed to find so many men, they come dressed as women and they dance there. So probably that is their way to welcome Srimati Radharani, and they keep chanting and they keep telling each other, Badhai ho, Lali ji ke janam huo hai. So they keep greeting that in the Vraj Bhasha, which means congratulations, congratulations, Lali ji has appeared, or she has taken birth. So going further, these are the beautiful, gorgeous deities who are worshipped here. And when we go out of this temple, so then we come to this Brahma temple. So this is the Brahma temple which is worshipped there. Brahma ji is there, and it's a very ancient deity. Opposite to Brahma temple, there is the footprint of Srimati Radharani. Radharani's lotus footprints are there. And then this is the Kamdhenu Gai, the cow Kamdhenu, the back portion of that. So that is illustrated there. So when we come out of the temple of Laliji, so this is what we see. So coming out and moving further, here in Varsana, we have Vrishabhanu Kund. So on the left side of the picture, you can see that that is Vrishabhanu Kund. So here King Vrishabhanu, Radharani's father, would come for taking bath. And this kund is very, very special, and it is said that one who takes bath in this kunda, he is bestowed with Krishna Bhakti. And furthermore, it is said just by having darshan of the kund, we get Krishna Bhakti. So we all shall mentally take dip in this Vrishabhanu Kund, so that we all are bestowed with Krishna Prem. So next to Vrishabhanu Kund is Kirtida Kund. Now it is very fascinating, like how we have, we don't have separate bathroom for every individual at our home. Generally there is a common bathroom. But here we find that each personality, they have their own kundas. They will take bath in their own kund. So like a private swimming pool or a bathing tub. So Vrishabhanu Kund is there, and next to Vrishabhanu Kund is Kirtida Kund. I could not locate the picture, but it is just adjacent to this one is Kirtida Kund. And it is said that one who takes bath or a dip in Kirtida Kund, that person is free from all sins and goes directly to Golok Vrindavan. So that is Kirtida Kund. And the right side you see is the picture of This one here is Vrajeshwar Mahadev. So now these deities were personally installed by King Vrishbhanu, and Vrishbhanu would worship here to Lord Shiva. He would worship here. So few years back, the Vrajvasis decided to shift these Shivlinga to some other place, at a more appropriate place, a bigger temple, and many people came, but nobody could lift. And then they all apologized and they understood that Lord Shiva does not want to move. He wants to stay here, just adjacent to this Vrishbhanu Kund. So here Vrajeshwar Mahadev is staying, and let's go a little further on the parikrama, and we are entering to a place called Sankar Khor. So as I was telling you, the nok jhok, right? Teasing, thoda ye, thoda wo, teasing pastimes. So that happens in Sankar Khor. Sankari means very narrow, and Khor is like a surang, a very narrow passage. So as I was telling you that there is this Brahma's mountain is there and Vishnu mountain is there. So they are known as Brahmagiri Parvat and Vilas Parvat. So between Brahmagiri and Vilas Parvat is a narrow lane, very narrow. Only one person at a time can pass. Even now, like when we will actually go, and I'll show you also, one person at a time can pass. So this is the place where Krishna would come and stand and block the way. So when all the gopis would be going with their milk pots and butter and other things to sell it off, so this would be the place where Krishna would stop them, and he would say that I have to collect the tax. I am the tax collector, and King Kamsa has sent me to collect tax from all of you, because this place belongs to him, and you all are not paying your taxes. So on that particular aspect, there would be lot of arguments. So sometime Krishna and his friends, they would become like very notorious, and they would break their pots. So when the pots would be broken, the gopis would be drenched completely in their own dahi and butter and whatever they are carrying. So everything would fall on them. Sometimes the gopis would catch these sakhas and they would bind them and slap them. So it would happen both the ways. So let us have a closer look of this Sankar Khor. So here we are seeing that this is the place. This is the narrow thing. One poor gentleman, somehow he is managing himself there and trying to walk. So this is the Sankar Khor. So once it actually happened that Krishna was caught here. And when Krishna was caught, the gopis forced him to dress in ghagra and choli, like the skirt and the dupatta and blouse, and he was forced to wear bangles and a nice veil. So like that they would tease Krishna. So this also happened here. And then, so like as I was telling, so all these various types of pastimes would happen. And this particular thing what you see here, this is the mark which is still there. So when Krishna broke Radharani's pot, the milk splashed, and then there was this, yogurt splashed, the curd splashed, and there are the marks. So still even now this place is there, and this place is worshipped by all the pilgrims. So these are the pictures of Sankar Khor. And then coming a little ahead from here, we will see Vilasgadh. So this place is Vilasgadh. This is located on the Vishnu Parvat. It's also known as Vishnu Parvat, and this is the place where like these Sakhis and Krishna would get completely absorbed in their intimate pastimes. So Vilas means absorption in pastimes, and Garh means a secluded place or a palace. So it is like their private chamber. So and then there is a Vilas Bihari Mandir here. A Ras Mandal is there, and they would have different pastimes, like as I was telling you that they would play Holi. Now Holi, it is a very common festival in North India, and we play Holi with various colors, and sometimes it is chemical and varnish and other things. When Radha, Krishna and the gopis would play Holi, they would not play Holi with those chemicals. They would play with different types of natural colors, like the colors they would make from different fruits and flowers. With that they would make colors. They would also play Holi with scented water. They would splash each other with different type of scented water and flower petals. So that was their Holi. Then similarly, they would have these Jhulan pastimes. So all this would happen here in Vilasgadh. And when we go a little ahead from this Vilasgadh, we reach a place which is known as Chiksauli. So this village is known as Chiksauli village, and this village is of Chitra Sakhi. So one of the Ashtasakhis, so as I was telling you that these Ashtasakhis are dear friends, like very closed group of friends. So they would know everything and they would decide where Radha Krishna would meet and what would they do today and what would they do next, and making all the arrangements and participating in that. So all that was by these Ashtasakhis. So one of these Ashtasakhi, her name is Chitra Devi. So this Chiksauli is actually Chitra Devi's village, and it is described that how Chitra Devi is actually expert in dressing and decorating Radharani with various cosmetics and ornaments. So each one of these Sakhis have a specific role. So one Sakhi is there who plays Veena when the pastime is happening. So like that, Chitra Sakhi decorates, she is like the beautician. So this is what she does, and Radharani would come very often to Chiksauli village, one because it was very close to that place, and two, before meeting Krishna, she would always come to Chiksauli to see Chitra Devi, and Chitra Devi would do her makeup. So to remember these Ashtasakhis' name, the young ones and the young at heart, here we have a small little rhyme, and I invite all of you to sing with me so that we can remember the names of Ashtasakhi. So we are talking about 8 Sakhis, and there's a beautiful rhyme which would help us in remembering these 8 names. So please repeat after me. Tulasi leaf on top of Krishna's feet.
Tulasi leaf on top of Krishna's feet.
Let's learn the name of the chief gopis.
Let's learn the name of the chief gopis.
Lalita Vishakha Indulekha. Lalita Vishakha Indulekha. Champaklata Tungavidya. Champaklata Tungavidya. Chitra Sudevi Rangadevi. Chitra Sudevi Rangadevi. And Radharani is the best gopi.
And Radharani is the best gopi.
So those of you who are watching on your phones or on your laptop, you can take a screenshot so that you can remember this song. It's a very beautiful rhyme. Generally, we use this to teach our children in ISKCON Chennai. We have this Bhakta Prahlad school. So to teach them the 8 Sakhis' name, we have this poem. This is written by Her Grace Tarni Radha Devi Dasi Mataji. So it's a beautiful way to memorize the poem. So take a screenshot and remember that. So let's go ahead into Chiksauli village. So this is Chiksauli village. And once upon a time, it so happened that in Chitra Sakhi's house, Krishna and all his friends came to plunder the things, and they started eating the various type of sweetmeats which was ready, and the milk and butter. And then suddenly Chitra Sakhi came, and then she started screaming and she started calling on her parents. So hearing that, everybody ran through a window. So all these boys, they ran through the window except one. So there is this one fat Brahman friend of Krishna. His name is Madhumangal. He's a very funny character, he's a very funny boy, and he adds a lot of flavor to Krishna's pastimes. So anyway, so this boy, he was jumping out of the window, so the former portion could pass through, but the latter, because he was very fat off because of his big tummy, so he got stuck there. And he was stuck, and everybody else ran away, and he started calling, Krishna, Krishna, please come, protect me, protect me. All these Sakhis gathered. Krishna had gone, so all these Sakhis gathered here, and they started slapping him. They started beating him. So this was happening there at the Chiksauli village in Chitra Sakhi's house. And here we have the temple at Chiksauli, and these are the lovely deities. So here we have Shri Radha Chitra Nikunj Bihari Ji. So here we see on the altar, on one side is Champak Lata Devi, and on the other side, on the left of Srimati Radharani, is Chitra Devi. So we have Radha, Krishna, Champak Lata and Chitra Devi. So these are the deities which are worshipped at Chiksauli. Going ahead, we reach another place. Now this place is known as Dohani Kund. Dohani means milking the cows. Dohna. In Vraj Bhasha it is called Dohna. So this is the place where King Vrishbhanu had his Goshala. So Radha Krishna would also milk there at times. So let's go and see how it looks now. So this is the footage of Dohini Kund. This is how it looks now. So there was one pastime which so happened that Radharani was milking the cow, and Krishna said, "Oh, you don't know, let me teach you how to do that." And then Krishna started milking, and Radharani came and closed next to Krishna, and immediately, instead of putting the milk on the bucket, Krishna started splashing the milk directly at Radharani's face. So like that, so things like that would happen here. Another thing what happened at Dohini Kund was, once Yashoda Mai was visiting her friend Kirtida, Radharani's mother, and then she saw Radharani and she did the whole shingar. She decorated Radharani with lot of jewels and everything, and she developed a desire, and that was the time when Yashoda Maiya prayed that, please let me have this wonderful girl as my son's bride. So this happened at Dohini Kund. So this is Dohini Kund, and let's go further and we would reach Gahavarvan. So Gahavarvan means this is a forest, one is the forest, and Gahavar means it is impenetrable. It is very, very thick and dense forest. And this is at the base of Brahmagiri Parvat, between Sankar Khor and Chiksauli village. So we just passed through these places. Sankar Khor is that tiny place, and Chiksauli is Chitra Sakhi's village. So in between that comes this place called Gahavarvan. So this is the village. This you can see how dense it is. So let's enter into Gahavarvan, and when we go there, we find that there is a place called Krishna Kund. And another name of this place is Radha Sarovar. So there also many amorous pastimes have happened, and let's see how it looks today. So this is what Radha Sarovar or Krishna Kund looks like. And this is the place where I was telling you the story that Madhu Mangal was caught. So after being caught, Madhu Mangal was brought here, and here you would see a rope hanging. So with this rope, actually Madhu Mangal's shikha, like the Brahmins, they have a shikha. So Madhu Mangal's shikha was tied, and he was tied upside down manner with the tree. So this is what was happening there, and then he started screaming and crying. He was crying, "Krishna, Krishna, please come, please help, please come, please help." And then Krishna came, and Krishna comes there and he says that you all are torturing a Brahmana. You all are torturing a Brahmana, and he will curse you, and all of you will get married to a person who's 3 times your age. You will all get married to old men. So like that, Krishna started telling, and then Madhu Mangal also said, yes, I'm going to curse you all. You all have done so many wrong things to me. And then they got very scared. Oh no, really, he's a Brahmana and we are not Brahman, and he will curse us and we did something wrong. So like that, they started thinking, and then they brought him down. And then they said, how can we please you? We want to serve you. We want you to be happy. So Madhu Mangal, realizing this opportunity, he said, I want laddus. I want 10,000 laddus. If you will give me 10,000 laddu, then I will forgive you. So these gopis, they went and they brought lot of laddus, and then Madhu Mangal ate nicely, and then he said, yeah, now I am satisfied. What do you want? I'll grant you any wish. So then one of the gopis hesitatingly, but then she said, I want Krishna as my husband. And Madhu Mangal said, Tathastu. And then another lady, he asked, and then she also said the same thing. So that way, actually, Madhu Mangal was blessing all these gopis to get Krishna as their husband, and simultaneously Madhu Mangal was getting laddus. So 10,000 laddus from each. So that way he got millions of laddus that day. So all that pastime happened here, and then here we have the rare darshan of Radharani's footprints. So this is Krishna Kund in Gahavarvan, and going further, we come to another beautiful place where another fascinating pastime happened. So this is More Kutir. Now this More Kutir is situated at a hilltop. So as you can see in the picture, there are so many steps there going up to that place, which is known as More Kutir. So we will go there and see what is there at More Kutir. So this place, dear devotees, is More Kutir, situated at the top of the hill, and More means Mayur or a peacock. So the beautiful pastime which happened here in this cottage, now there is a cottage built up there. So what happened is, here one day Srimati Radharani was a little upset, and to convince her and to pacify her, Krishna came there, and Krishna saw that there were a lot of peacocks, and these peacocks were dancing, and Radharani was just looking at these peacocks dance, and she was feeling happy, but she was not looking in Krishna's direction. So he was like very, very angry with Krishna, but simultaneously she was enjoying these peacocks dance. So what Krishna did is, he took the form of the peacock, and to please his lover, he started dancing like a peacock. So when Krishna started dancing like the peacock, he actually defeated all the other peacocks in dancing. I mean, who can dance better than the Supreme Lord himself? So that happened, and Radharani got so pleased that Radharani also took the form of a peacock, and she also started dancing like a peacock. So both of them, they danced here like peacock, and this particular pastime was actually, it is said that this vision was revealed to a blind Vaishnav saint. And he actually painted this whole pastime. Though this person was blind, but he painted this, and this painting is worshipped in this holy shrine, More Kutir. So this is the inside view of More Kutir. We can see here, this is the inside of the temple, and this is on the wall of the More Kutir. So Radha and Krishna dancing like a peacock. So this pastime happened at More Kutir. Going further, we are getting in Garh. So as I was describing to you, that Man is a type of a transcendental anger. So generally when there are lovers and female or male, one of them gets jealous and then they get angry. So that is known as Man. So this is a secluded place, a Garh, where Radharani would go and exhibit her anger in solitude. So this is situated at the top of Brahmagiri Parvat. And Krishna, with great difficulty, he would go there and try to pacify Srimati Radharani. So one such pastime happened that one day Radharani was supposed to meet Krishna. And Radharani was waiting, and Krishna was actually coming, but on the way he met another gopi. Her name was Chandravali. So Krishna was coming to see Srimati Radharani, but then he got engaged in the conversation with Chandravali. And Radharani's parrot saw this. And the parrot comes and tells Srimati that Krishna is there. Whom are you waiting for? Krishna is having good time with Chandravali. And Radharani got so angry. And she decided, I am not going to talk, and just don't allow Krishna inside. So when Radharani gets this man, then all the other Sakhis, they become like the bodyguard. They don't allow Krishna to come and to meet. So after some time, when Krishna arrived, and then he saw Radharani in such mood, and he was like, he did not know what to do. He started explaining that I met Chandravali by chance. I did not go on a purpose, but nothing worked, and she was not listening. And Lalita Sakhi said, get out. Radharani does not want to meet you. Out you go. And then Krishna was like, what to do? So among all these Asht Sakhis, whose names we have just now learned, Vishakha has a soft corner for Krishna. So Vishakha Sakhi goes, Lalita has soft corner for Radharani, and Vishakha has a soft corner for Krishna. So she goes and she tells Krishna, okay, we'll do one thing. You dress up as a gopi and you come and you sing nice songs for Radha. So Krishna, as you can see in the other picture, Krishna actually decorated himself, and Vishakha Devi brought Krishna and said that this is new gopi who's joining our group, and her name is Shama Gopi. And Radharani said, okay, welcome. What do you know? And then Shama Gopi said that she can sing. And then she starts singing. So she was playing veena and she was singing. And as she was singing one song after the other, and the voice, It was like literally melting the heart of Srimati Radharani. And Radharani got up and she embraced Shama Sakhi. And the moment she embraced, she realized that it was none other than her beloved Supreme Lord Krishna. So like that, different pastimes happen. So this we will enter into Mangarh. Now Mangarh is also situated on the top of a mountain. And so there are lots of steps we have to climb up and go and reach Mangarh. And there is this Kutir which is called Man Kutir. So there this Man Leela, Man pastime happens where he gets angry, she gets angry and Krishna pacifies. So all these various pastimes happen here. There is also a hindola or a jhula, a large swing on which this divine couple, they sit and they are like, the swing pastime happens there. So the swing pastime is also very interesting, which happens that they start like, if Radharani would be a little upset, so Vishakha and Lalita would put them on a swing and start rocking it hard. And so hard that Radharani would like go and cling to Krishna. And then they would be pacified and things would work out like that. One day it so happened that Krishna, it was a moonlit night, beautiful moonlit night. And Krishna said to Srimati Radharani that you are as beautiful as the moon. Comparing the lover to the moon started at that time itself. So he said, you are as beautiful as a moon. And Radharani looked at the moon and she got very upset. You think there are so many stains on my face? You are telling I look like a moon? And she gets angry. And Krishna starts telling her, no, that is not what I meant. That is not what is. And Krishna actually starts crying there. And then when Krishna is crying, Krishna starts crying with hot tears. Like it is said that there are two types of tears, hot and cold. So cold tears come when we are happy and hot tears come when we are very sad. So when Srimati Radharani felt those hot tears of Krishna, then she gave up her anger and then the divine couple were again united. So many such pastime happens here in Mangarh. So this is the temple and here we have the presiding deities, beautiful form of Shri Radha Krishna. And going ahead, we will come to Dan Bihari Mandir or Dangarh. So here on the left, you see the picture of Dan Bihari temple and here on the other side, you see the Jhulan picture. So here also the Jhula or the Jhulan pastime happens. So now this Dangarh also very interesting thing, very funny thing happened once. So let's have a look at Dangarh and discuss about this pastime. So once one old Brahmana who was very tortured by his wife because he had an elder daughter and he had to marry that daughter. So this old Brahmana came out searching for money and he found Radha Krishna. So when he saw Krishna, he said, oh Krishna, I heard that your father is a king and Radharani's father is also a king. So I beg you, can you please give me something valuable? So Krishna said, valuable? I'll give you the most valuable thing. Take Srimati Radharani. Krishna said, she is the most valuable thing which I have. So because you are begging and because I am very fond of Brahmana, so you can take Radha. So when Krishna said that, on one side Radha started crying and on the other side Brahman started crying. Brahman said that you are telling me take this. I already have one daughter and you are giving me another daughter. For one daughter I am not able to marry. Where will I go for the second one? And then Krishna understood, oh, in a haste he has made some mistake. There was some error. So what Krishna said, okay, arranged for a swing. Arranged for a tula, not a swing, a tula or a weighing scale. And Krishna sat on, Krishna asked Radharani to sit on one side and on the other side Krishna started taking out all his jewels and keeping on the other side. So he said that I will give you equal amount of jewelry and I will get my Radharani back. So this place what you are seeing here, they actually put that thing and they weigh Srimati Radharani. So this pastime, my dear devotees, happened at this place which is known as Dangarh. And these are the lovely gorgeous deities. Shri Shri Radha Dan Bihari Bhagwan Ki Jai. So let's go little more ahead and here we have the temple of Kushal Bihari, Shri Shri Radha Kushal Bihari Mandir. This is also known as Jaipur Mandir and this is a huge temple. So we will look in this temple. This was built by the Maharaj of Jaipur, and that is why it gets the name of Kushal Bihari. So Radha Krishna here, they are known as Shri Radha Kushal Bihari Bhagwan, and along with the deities, we have Gopalji and Hamsa Gopal deities also here. So this is what is worshipped here, and these are the deities, Radha Kushal Bihari. And we see on the other side of the picture, that side you see Hamsa Gopal, the 4 Kumaras. Then in the second row we have Narada, and then Nimbark and his main disciple on the second altar at the Jaipur temple. So this is what is worshipped here in Radha Kushal Bihari Mandir. So we have traveled all these places, and now we are reaching to a beautiful sarovar. This is known as Piyala Sarovar or Pili Pokhar. So Pili means yellow or golden lake. In English we translate it as golden lake. So this is another beautiful place in Varsana. So one day what happened, Srimati Radharani, like yesterday we all heard that how Radharani got this benediction from Durvasa Muni of cooking so many varieties of items and how she would not repeat any item. So Mother Yashoda would often call her to Nandgaon for cooking for Krishna. So one day when she cooked everything, and Mother Yashoda was very happy. So what she did is she applied some haldi, some turmeric on Radharani's palms. And then she asked, do you know what does this mean? So Radharani said, no, I don't know what it means. So she said, this signifies a type of engagement. Like in Hindi they say haath peele karna. So haath peele karna is like applying turmeric. So earlier times, instead of the engagement rings, this is what the custom. So the mother-in-law, Yashoda Maya, applied haldi for Radharani's palms, and she said, one day I'll bring you as Krishna's bride. So Radharani started running from that place, and she was very shy and embarrassed. And then she met her Sakhis. So when she was going ahead, she met her Sakhis. So the Sakhis told, what is this? And she explained. And the Sakhis said, even if you get married to Krishna, yet you are very young. And this is not the age for marriage. And Radharani said, yes, and what will I answer to people if they see me and if they start asking me? So what Radha did is she went to a nearby pokhar or a lake and she washed her hand. So what you are seeing now, this golden lake, it gets its color because Radharani washed her hands here. So the whole lake turned yellow because of Radharani's washing hands. And after some time, Radha left and Krishna came. And Krishna was intrigued, like, what is this new thing? I have never seen this yellow lake. So from where this yellow lake had come? So this is interesting. Come, let me take a dip. So what Krishna did is he jumps in this water. And when he jumped in the water and came out, Krishna was golden in color. With that one jump, Krishna was golden in color, and Krishna was golden in his consciousness also. In the sense that he got the love of Radharani. So the mood of Radharani. So when he came out, he started chanting his own names. So this golden Krishna started chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Krishna got in the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually, because this is what Lord Chaitanya's beauty is. So he is golden. So this is what happened, and then after some time, of course, Krishna water dried up and he became normal once again and he got back his original color. So there he manifested that form, and when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited these places, he also visited all these places in Barsana. So this place, since then, because it is yellow colored lake, it is known as Pila Pokhar or Piyali Sarovar. So this is what happens when a person takes bath or sprinkles some water from Piyali Sarovar, that we also get that mood of Srimati Radharani. So with this we have completed our parikrama of Barsana. So the total parikrama of Barsana is around 7 kilometers, and it takes around 1 hour to complete when we are just walking and not really taking the dips and the darshan, and we don't we don't hear the katha. But if we just walk, then it takes around 1 hour. So here in front of you are the important things for all of you to remember and take a screenshot so that it is right there with you. So you remember how we started with Shriji Mandir. So Shriji Mandir, we went inside and we saw that how it is also known as Lali Ji or Ladli Ji temple, and how Radharani is situated there as Ladli Ji. So this is how she is worshipped. And even Krishna, when he goes to this temple or this place, I mean, all the paintings show that Krishna is subservient to Srimati Radharani here. So actually Varsana is the land of Srimati Radharani. So she is the topmost here. After Shriji Mandir, we also saw Vrishabhanu. There it is mentioned Vrishabhanu Mandir. So that there is next to Vrishabhanu Kund. So we saw Vrishabhanu Kund. We saw Garh and how Krishna gave off Srimati Radharani to that Brahmana. Then we came down further. We saw more Kutir where Radha and Krishna dance like peacock. And first Krishna started dancing to pacify Radha, and then Radharani also joined. We also saw Vilasgadh where the holy and the other swing pastime and other intimate pastime happens. We saw that Sankar Khor, that narrow lane from where Radharani has to always pay the tax, or at least she has to fight for it. So that was the place. We saw Krishna Kund where Madhumangal was tied inverted and he was slapped, and then he started cursing, and how he made his enormous amount of laddus. And then we saw the Garh where Srimati Radharani gets, when she is a little transcendentally angry, she goes there and exhibits that. We saw Jaipur Mandir. So this is how we have seen the entire Varsana Dham. तो बोलो बरसाने वाली की जय, श्रीमती राधा रानी की जय.